Good day. Good day, family. I'm coming before you today to show you how, to the best of my ability, the absolute need for us to come together. And for those who have tried it and were unsuccessful, how to recoup. Surefire way, how to recoup any losses, and also how to survive during this economic depression that we are about to face. Me and a group of us have absolutely came up with a methodology to show all of us with no risk or reward method of surviving financially. However, before I even get into that, I want to share with you all something. And I hope I don't offend some who does not believe in a higher power. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a minister. I'm a very deeply spiritual brother who believes in a higher power. And I also study history. I study current times. And I love scripture from whatever book that it is presenting and I read from. I'm going to preface this conversation with just a reminder of the times and what we are in and what and how we can survive what has been prophesied to come that we are bearing witness of today. I'm going to try to keep this short, family. I'm going to show you the scripture and I'm going to show you modern times and I'm going to see if there's congruency that you can point out to understand the significance of what we're in, the importance of us coming together, the importance for us building community. Many of us stay away from the book of Revelations. It's scary. I get it. Scary or not does not mean that it's not to come. We're here. In the book of Revelations, it said that there will be wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places. Look at our weather. Look at the calamities that have plagued the world. A lot of calamities have faced weather conditions unknown to them in history, from earthquakes to tornadoes to hurricanes to wildfires. God said that he will come when it's time to shut the devil's world down in the houses of God. What's our evidence of that? The world shut down. Mecca was shut down. Jerusalem was shut down. The Vatican was shut down. The churches, synagogues, and mosques all around America was shut down. This started around March for the most of America, but it started previous to that in the world. wanted to do? Shelter in place. Many of us went home and found out what we were made of in our homes. Some of us discovered that we had good homes, good relationships with our loved ones. Some of us discovered that we didn't. This was a time for assessment of who we are, and now what you do with that assessment and how to build. Satan world is going down, family, fast. And Jesus said that on this day you choose. A man cannot have two masters. He'll love one and he'll hate the other. We have been a victim of Satan's world, his systems of beliefs, and it's fallen. His economy is falling. His systems of beliefs is falling. His injustice is being magnified. We want to cling on to Satan. Well, I'm not clinging on to Satan. I'm a good God-fearing person, yeah. God is drawing the children of God together, and we find all type of reasons not to bond together. You want to depend on a job, when most of your companies are going belly up, the employees are the ones who suffer the most, not ownership. The employees, with loss of wages, loss of job. Oh, I'll go get unemployment. Unemployment is skyrocketing nationwide. Most states can't handle the record numbers of claims coming in. The finances are not there. So when we become in full engaged in this economic depression and we did nothing about it, we only have to look in the mirror. I hear all type of foolish justification. Well, I got my own company. Company absent of consumer is no company at all. You have to have a base. Well, I'm doing real estate and I'm flipping houses. Yeah. But when there's no one to have solid employment or money revenue coming in, the housing market will crash because there's no purchases. And even those who are fortunate to purchase now, the tenant market will start to dry up because the job market is about to dry up and crash hard. All these things are intertwined. So I'm telling you, you want to see what scripture is nowadays? God released on Pharaoh plagues. And one of the plagues was pestilence. And he told the children of Israel to go into their homes and to mark their homes and to stay in their homes, and the pestilence will pass them. Wow. Shelter in place, COVID-19. Shelter in place and let the pestilence pass us. We couldn't do it. We, collectively, there's no one person bigger than the other. We want to be outside. Most of us didn't have good sturdy homes, so our homes became a hell to us. He was forcing us to come build our homes and build community. What did we do with the time? Jesus said, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins and her plagues. But we want to stay married to her. I got my little job. Foolishness. I got seniority, so it ain't going to affect me. What affect the whole will affect you. Even if you are able to maintain your job a little longer than most, it eventually will affect you. And what did you do to store up, to have preservation for you and your loved ones? This is real, family. This is absolutely real. A friend of mine, and I won't say the company, even though I don't think they would mind, told me in a prominent company that's a service that's needed, that they were offering their employees $20,000 to buy out. This is a prominent company. I'll give you a hint. It's in mass transit, where they're over $70 million in debt. Look who they're trying to chew the fat with and cut the fat with, the employees. Another friend of mine said that they are trying to hire 100 people to handle statewide the unemployment cases. But even with that, it's an oxymoron because the finances are not there to be able to grant all of these so-called cases. I'm sharing this with you all to understand this. Some of you all believe in the political system. Neither party will allow the other party to thrive because it means popularity, and in their mind, it means longevity. So if the Democrats come up with something, the Republicans is going to block it. If the Republican comes up with something, the Democrats going to block it. All who suffer is the masses of the people. So we take stock. Don't get it twisted. Many of our jobs that we got have maintained, provided for our families. And any glimmer of success, we move away from each other and become on our island. Well, God is calling us to depend on each other. During this pandemic, it said things either happen by God's active will or his permissive will. A concept was introduced to us. It's called family and friends sharing. Some of us thrived in it. Some good people and some bad people. I think more so the bad people thrive more than the good people. However, it's still a good concept that God was calling us to, pulling our resources amongst family and friends. The most successful communities thrive on that. Family and friends sharing. Guess what? Because it was a new concept to many of us, we mishandled it collectively. I don't want to exalt no one higher than the other one and put no one lower than the other one. Collectively, we mishandle it because we're not used to the community concept anymore because of our disillusioned state of mind of middle class and some glimmers of success. We were able to travel. We were able to buy the cars that we wanted. We were able to move into the so-called neighborhoods that we wanted, get the houses that we wanted. Well, what was the community aspect in that whole equation? God is calling his children to come together for our survival and the glory of him. Have we lost? I'll take this a little bit more personal. I believe in the concept, and I believe in community. I don't know too many people who have lost more than me. Have I made money inside of the community concept? Absolutely. I made over $40,000. I can't tell you the accurate amount, but it's way over that. And I didn't put almost 90% of that back in trying to save the community. So for those who lost $500, lost $2,000, Your loss was significant to you, and I would not belittle your loss. But try over $30,000 lost trying to save communities. We had the right concept. We just didn't have it in us to believe in ourselves and kind. You were taught coming into the community that I personally belong to. Once you come into the community, start to get to know the people that's on your particular flower. Start to interact. No one wants to share money and have an authentic sharing of money when they are not family and friends to a stranger. So how do you bridge the gap between common family and friends and a stranger? You get to know each other. And once those relationships are authentically formed, whenever a problem come up, you will work together to solve the problem because the relationship is the foundation of everything. It's not nothing that we do, the problems won't come about. But the authentic relationships that we formulate and we build become problem solvers because you have people who care about one another, who wants to see the other one successful, and they will work with that mindset. So chasing a dollar, you'll lose a dollar. But if you lose a dollar in a community, you're regaining the dollar because you gain friendship and you then gain somebody who will labor with you in the time of your loss so you can recoup your losses. Inside of our group, we have one particular group of people that I absolutely brag on because they did it right. They listened and they built family and friends. So most of the people on their flowers, if not 95% of the people on their flowers, is either blood related or close family and friends, and they're still thriving. They were the model. Those who fell off, and don't get it twisted, there were some people who came in there in our community who really embraced it, and they reached out to certain people, and certain people that they reached out that came on their flowers didn't embrace the concept. And I commend those because that was disheartening, that was discouraging, and they still tried, and they're still trying to this day. So I commend those. But for those who came into the community just to chase a dollar, became a weed to our growth. It's okay. We're going to make it. But God is putting us in a position right now that we don't have the luxury of talking about residual income. It's an absolute necessity for our survival. So I'm sharing this with you as your brother. I done talked to a couple of my family members, a couple of my friends, and said, yeah, brother, I tried to join a couple of communities and I lost. Ask yourself a question. What type of community was it? Was it based upon chasing a dollar, or was the real intent was to build a community? Anytime you have the community aspect there, you're going to thrive. You're going to thrive. But if it's just about chasing a dollar, not only do you have the possibility of losing, but you have nothing to back you up and say, okay, as a community, how do we fix this? In my community, I begged people, help, help, help. Not only for my losses, but for their losses. And some of those communities just wanted me to fix the problems, but then nothing to help. I said, help me with the flowers. that will ultimately affect you. You know, we can cry about our losses, but mature people say, okay, go back to the drawing board and how do we recoup it? Because guess what? We had the foundational instrument, which was the bulk of us was community origin. Not all, but the bulk. That's all we needed. So with that being said, family, I don't want you all to think that I'm trying to scare you. It's the truth. We are absolutely about to embark on the worst depression ever in history. Many of us are living check to check. So if we lost our jobs, the loss snowball effect is going to get great. Loss of food, loss of residents. So then unemployment is going to shoot sky high. Homelessness is going to shoot sky high. Well, I'm a landlord. Well, if your tenants are legal squatters because the eviction court is flooded with cases and may not be able to see you for some time, and even when they do see you, they still have a process to go through. You're losing money to pay your mortgage. Now there's foreclosures. But if we embrace community, we embrace concepts of community, we'll thrive even when those who lose their job, yeah, you holding on to pennies to lose it eventually, instead of taking the pennies and amplifying it with the community aspect. I'm telling you, family, I'm pleading with you. Initially, when most of those who have come into the community were looking for an extra stream of income, this now will be most of us stream of income. And how do you thrive? Build the community. We have a surefire method that, in hindsight, I asked God, why didn't you share this method with us when we first came into the community concept, family and friends, community shines? And my only answer that God could possibly provide for me that I receive right now, is that you had to go through something to get through something. So we went through it. We went through the concept to prove that it worked. We also experienced this part of the concept where it didn't work when we started to take loss. And for those who really believed in the community concept, took tremendous loss because they were trying to save not only the community, but people who weren't even trying to save themselves. So that's when you come with financial loss at an enormous rate. So again, yeah, you lost 500, you lost 2,000. Some of you might even lost 3,000, maybe 5,000. But for me and a few of my friends, tens and tens of thousands that we lost trying to save communities because we still believe in the concept. So why didn't you go nowhere? Because at the end of the day, God is telling me that there's nothing else left. So you people who own restaurants, you own bars, you about to be affected. They're about to go ahead and shut down public places again, which affect your business again. Many didn't survive the first wave. So the second wave is going to be catastrophic. We all that we have. And God is constantly showing us. You didn't hear me the first time God talking. You didn't hear me? Y'all didn't come together? Y'all didn't pull y'all resources like you should have? Okay. Second wave. And it's going to be more severe. We all that we have. The most beautiful thing that I got in this concept is I have met some beautiful people who are thriving, who are willing to struggle to bring our people together because they see the beauty and they see the significance of our unity. So this new concept, family, that we have, that we're not putting in the public, is absolutely no risk of financial loss. None. It's all profit. I'm going to put this in two groups. Both of the groups I belong to, both of the groups I started with the help of a couple other people. I didn't start it alone. Inside both of those groups are the numbers needed for community and for thriving. Everybody's looking outside the community. You couple yourself up with those in the community, you have your answer. You don't have to look outside, your answer is within. Reach out to those in the community and say, are you going to take this journey with me? Let's build a bond and we go on this journey together, because now they have something that we can not only thrive on, we can absolutely survive this economic storm that we're about to face. So when you don't have an answer, look inside. First, I want you to start to believe in yourself. Remove the language, I can't. When you are children of a most high God, David, the psalmist says, you are all children, children of the most high God. God created the world. He created the universe. So in it, he removed impossibilities. And if he's our father, because we say it, are we just saying an empty mantra? Our Father who art in heaven. Well, if my Father is a God and he removed the impossibility, where am I getting this word can't? Well, black people just don't want to come together. Well, you make them. You start with your family and friends first. And they're worth you not giving up on. Let me show you great sacrifice, family. Abraham, when he first finally got his child, boy child, he was told to sacrifice him with his life. And his son Ishmael found out that this was decree. He said, I'll give my life for the glory of God. And because both was all willing to give up something that they both won their life and the other, the life of my child, God spared them. Sacrifice and struggle is ordained for any believer. Because once you believe, you're going to be tested in your belief. The Quran says this: do men think that they can escape on saying that they believe without being tried, when we have tried those before you? So trial is necessary to establish the truth of you. Where's your wherewithal? Where's your character? I'm telling you, family, we have an absolute method. I'm not begging nobody for this. The absolute method will help everybody that suffer any type of loss to recoup their loss at an exponential rate. But the community has to be, the community concept and working together has to be there. With financial loss, no. Would it gain money? Absolutely. But you have to be willing to be a part of the community, mind, heart, and spirit. Not for no quick hits. Because the money is there. That's the easy part. Keeping it coming and making us do something with it in the community, that becomes the challenge. Stop crying. Yeah, we've been in this country for 400 years. We've been taught not to be community oriented. And every time somebody tries to galvanize us in that way, they are attacked and their systems are attacked. So now we can say black folks will never come together. And you are a part of Satan and his world and his systems of belief. Because what God said he can, you saying what Satan saying we can't. So for the blessings group, for the serious minded group, the numbers are there. Go reach out to those in the group and say, hey, I would like to build a relationship with you. Me and you and a couple more of us build this relationship together. We'll thrive. And for you all that want to do that, I will share with you all the absolutely surefire, no loss, no risk of financial loss way to amplify your money. But I'm not putting it out in the public. We're not putting it out in the public. Why? Because the public is not mature enough for it. Because when you give something like this to the public, everybody want to do their own thing, and they're doing it for reasons of financial gain or whatever. But now the population become diluted, and now it does not have impact. So now you have 30 groups doing the same thing from the same pool of people. When they can collaborate, all their people, but we ain't there yet. We haven't matured to the year of collaborations. Myself and a couple other members in this group, I'm not saying no names because I can only speak for myself. They didn't give me permission to say their names, so I won't say their names, but a couple other people in this group have went outside of our community to save our community, to formulate relationships with people. And some of us, we are successful. We have made new friends who believe in the concept, who got burned in whatever community they was in, but they still believe in the concept. So we have made new friends for us, all of us. Then we have some people, we didn't embark on some people who utilize our spirit, our belief in the community concept, and we got burned financially because they manipulated it and burned it. None of you all, and I can say this with pride, I can say this with strength. Me and my friends, absolute integrity. We was worrying about people problems when they weren't worried about themselves. We was worrying about how to get people gifted when they only worried about how to get themselves gifted and not the community. And we made sacrifices trying to get people gifted who wasn't even working. But that's okay. That's yesterday news. We can recoup our energy, our time. Right now, we have an absolute method that I will not share with the public. If you want to know how to do it, come in. Reach out to me. I then reached out to a couple of my family members, and I was disappointed. Some of my friends, when I first came in, I almost hit everybody that I knew. And you all went out and joined other communities that got absolutely burnt in and said, now you sour towards the process. When your brother, who has integrity with you, your brother who has a long history of making anything that God blesses me with turn to gold, and you went elsewhere and got burnt, and now you turned off for the process. Well, sorry. I'm going to say this shit real, man. Just because you emotional in this process that you didn't got burned is not going to stop the goddamn storm. So you crying about what you lost and the storm is coming, you'll suffer in it. Time out for the emotions in that regard and say, guess what? I got a group of people that's rocking. They believe in the community's concept. It ain't about chasing the dollars, but I can benefit financially so that I can not only survive in this storm, but I can thrive in it. I'm talking about, family, the opportunity to make $4,000 in a couple of days. What's the loss? I ain't want nothing. You had no risk of loss. What's the work? Building the community. Anything else, you got to call me and I'll tell you how. Outside of that, if you want to stay in your emotions, you want to stay in loss, suffer not only the loss that you have, but the loss that's getting ready to come many of our ways. Go look at most of your employment status. Companies are being very frightened, and right now they're trying to figure out to cover up the cost. How are they going to do that? The biggest bill to any employer is payroll. So if I trim the fat off the payroll, which I mean I have to lose employees, then this is a method of my company's survival. Look at it, family. NFL stadiums, empty. NBA stadiums, empty. Our children who had hopes and dreams of going to the NBA and NFL and Major League Baseball, guess what? The money won't be there because the fans pays the bill. Outside the fans, now the security contracts, well, it's not the masses to secure. So guess what? The security contracts go. Uh-oh. I don't need to open up the vending places inside the arenas. Why? Because there's nobody to vend to. Mass loss that we experience at an enormous rate. So if you, like the beloved family, Brother Michael, why haven't you given up since you experienced so much loss? Because my purpose is tied to what we're doing. Build community, build God's children. In it, we will survive. And if we stumble on any obstacles, the community togetherness will knock down that obstacle so we can thrive. Nothing that we get that easy is absent of work. But it's a beautiful work. And you'll see many of us who came in who said, I just wanted to create an extra stream of income. It's going to become our only stream of income. So let's come together. Let's work together. Let's get it done. If you're interested, call me. And I'm going to ask most of you all, because I'm not putting this so much out in the public, I'm going to ask most of you all a very significant question. If I don't know you personally, who sent you? Because Satan can't sneak up in our community. Who sent you? And I ain't calling you Satan, but sometimes we are blessed. We are stamped with the satanic mind, unaware. Who sent you? Who can vouch for you? And you tell me who can vouch for you, I'll share with you the method. But the method is surefire. Remember the language that I'm saying to you. It is surefire. We didn't gave you the opportunity to experience no financial loss. All profit. So if you worry about losing some more money, this ain't that. This is all gain. This is all profit. But we're not sharing it with everybody. May God continue to bless you all. Let's come together. Let's rock. Let's thrive. For those who believe in community, you share this video with other community like-minded people. Don't share this community with somebody just chasing a dollar. The dollar will come. But the most valuable resource that we got as human beings is each other. Once we unite with each other and we become the model of how it should be, then I'll come back to you all later and say, is it now time to release it to the public? And if you say no, that's what I'm going to go to it. If you say yes, that's what I'm going to go with. But right now, it's a private group only. And your invitation has to be vouched for by somebody in the community.